Well, it doesn't look it on screen, but it's pretty dark out. It's not yet dawn, and it's not often these days I get up this early, to be honest. I've become a bit of a lazy photographer, and at least in terms of mornings, and that's not a great thing, is it, really? And I am missing being out first thing. Now today is dull and grey, dark, dingy, wet, all of those sort of less colourful descriptions of autumn weather, but it's perfect for what I'm going out for today. There's a couple of things on my mind. First thing is a bit of mycography. So let's go and find some interesting fungi. The other reason for coming out today, I'm really excited to be out and about with my Nikon D750. So the Nikon 350 has gone, and the Nikon D750 has arrived. So here I am on my way to the New Forest, and let's see if I can find myself something interesting to shoot. So I have come to a different part of the forest, and because I tend to do this thing where I will stick with a particular area or region for a period of time so that I can really do my best to get to know it and what there is to photograph around there. So in many ways we have ideal conditions today. It's rained recently, but we also have a lot of leaf fall, and that means that the leaves are covering covering the forest floor, and that is going to make it quite tricky Well, we have this excellent fellow here. Not quite sure what this one is called, but it's a fairly substantial fungi. I'll try and give you an idea of size by putting my phone next to it. So it's a good size and quite chunky, and got very solid underside to it. And rather than these sort of floaty gills that you sometimes see, or wide apart gills, really very solid mushroom this. And what I'm realizing with the D750 and the 80-200 lens that I have on it there, I can just zoom in a bit, which is over here, is that I'm having to get quite a long way away from it. I'll show you from behind. I'm having to really get quite away from my subject. So the subject is about here somewhere. So I'm probably a good, let's have a look, from the focal plane, 1 to nearly 3 meters away from it is the minimum focusing distance of this lens, the 80-200 ED lens. And yeah, so nearly, well, I must be nine feet away, something like that, maybe about 8 feet. and that seems to be the minimum focusing distance for this. Now I'm going to reshoot this, but with the Nisi, this thing, I'll show you, with the Nisi close-up filter on. So we'll screw this onto the front of the lens. It is raining, but only a little bit. And again, I haven't got an umbrella here today, but we'll try this again, see how close in I can get with the Nisi close-up filter. What you'll see as we go from shot to shot is that the camera, the lens appears to zoom out. And what's actually happening, in fact, is just that we call focus breathing. And this is the movement of the image within the frame, either expanding or contracting it. Now I'm going to try the same shot now, setting that up with the Z7 II and the 24-200. Now, all sorts of other things come into play. I have touchscreen autofocus, which is fantastic. So I can pre-select exactly where on this fungus I want it to focus, and then I think what I might do is just take a shot there for as a single image whilst I have it. 5-second delay. And off we go. And now what I'm going to do is take the same shot but with focus shift shooting. Go into my menu, and the focus shift shooting shortcut that I have set up, I'm going to go for 50 shots, a 2 focus step width between shots, and let's see what that gets us. It may not get us deep enough on this because it's quite a large fungus. So let's go start. So I decided that I really wasn't getting anywhere near the composition that I wanted. So I have broken out the big boy in terms of the large tripod. I'll give you a wider view here, look. And so this means I've now got the camera really nicely set up in a landscape mode here. And in the upright orientation using my my little kind of double L bracket device that I have made, and this really helps, and it means that it's much easier to mechanically get this camera at the minimum focusing position for any given focal length. And then the other beautiful thing when we're doing macro with the Z7 II is that, oh, hang on, let's just do it from up here so we don't get too much reflection. With the Z7 II is that in terms of focus, I can manually press the screen to show where I want the focus point to be. Set our focus, go to menu, focus shift shooting, and start. Now I am at just a 35mm focal length, and I'm just going to scroll through the images in a moment just to make sure that I have the whole of the fruiting body and the stem of this thing focused. To be fair to the D750, I really ought to now try this same image with the 17 to 55mm lens. Okay, this is future Nigel breaking in here. I did a really silly thing, and it would seem that In view of the large number of photo shoots that I have done recently, I've kind of mixed things up somewhat, and I've managed to delete all of the pictures that I shot with the Z7ii on this particular shoot, which is, yeah, a bit gutting, really. But there you go, it is what it is. So what you will have is the pleasure of a number of shots taken exclusively with the Nikon D750. I've got to say, I'm actually pretty pleased with how those shots have come out. Right, I have set this up now with the D750, and this is with the 17 to 55 millimeter f1.2a lens. This is a DX lens, so it's designed for a Nikon DX camera using a crop sensor, and that means that I need to multiply the focal length by 1.5, and I'm currently on the lens on a focal length of about 30, so that's going to be about 45 millimeter focal length in full frame terms. What's interesting with this lens is that if I scroll through the images here, I am not getting the issues with focus breathing that I had on the 80 to 200. So, I mean, there may be some very minor focus breathing, but it's almost non-existent, and that means that Helicon Focus is going to have no problem stitching these images together, and I've got a much better view of it. What I haven't done yet is play around with any lighting. I want to get rid of this nasty green rhododendron branch there. I don't have to destroy it, just move it out of the way temporarily. I don't like that colour in the frame. Have some more autumn colours. I'm going to deliberately underexpose it now, and I think I'll stick with the D750 now rather than keep setting up with a different camera, and then we'll light the subject. So I'm exposing deliberately the ambient light by 3 full stops, and then I've put a light in slightly behind to the left hand side of the fungi here. That one there, it's a little cube video light, and then a small panel light here to the right and to the front of it. And if I show you on screen, the outcome of that, it just absolutely transforms this image. I think that looks beautiful. Fine. I knew there was an image to be had here, but it's taken me all this time, over an hour, to find it. This is manual focus shift shooting. Tiny increments, manually dialed in. And there's a lot of midges down here. I am getting bitten to pieces, I think. So what the D750 is doing here, really, it's really slowing me down, and not necessarily in a bad way, because it kept me here thinking about this shot, and I knew that I wasn't really that happy with the composition, because at the end of the day it's just a 5 or 6 inch tall fungus growing out of the forest, the leaves on the forest floor, and it needed something more to it. I wasn't really fully happy with it, and being here long enough got me thinking about while I was doing all this fiddling, how can I improve this composition? And really the answer simply has been lighting. And that's what it's come down to. I think this is going to be the best of all the shots that I've done so far. I do like the fact that we have the control buttons to the left of the screen. And so those are for things like the ISO level, picture quality, white balance, so I can press those down and then dial them in with the buttons on the top of the right hand side of the camera body. What I've really missed is focus shift shooting, and my main concern there isn't the time that it takes, it's one that I might just turn that little bit too far between shots if I'm focusing manually, and that as a consequence I'll have an out of focus band, if you like, in my focus stacked image, and then the other risk being one of simply movement of the camera at each shot. There's a lot that's really very familiar about this Nikon. I mean, I've used so many before, but even though some of the controls are quite different compared to the Z6ii, it's not taken too much to refresh my muscle memory in terms of where the various buttons are. This is a feature I really like that I miss on the mirrorless cameras, on the Z series cameras. So I have the Z6ii and the Z7ii, and they do not have this panel of buttons down here. And so we have to make do with a different set of buttons over this side that are all a bit more crowded in and a bit more difficult to find at times. The Z2 I think is a lot better in terms of finding your sort of delayed shutter release, that kind of stuff, although this feature here of the timer on the dial is quite useful, and that ties into the shutter delay built into the menu system, and so changing the amount of delay is a bit harder work than I might like ideally. Getting into live view compared with the D3 is a lot easier than it was on that camera. So we've just pressed this button here, and that will also switch us, of course, between stills mode and video mode. Now, I haven't been using video mode, and it's unlikely that I am going to do so because I have plenty of other ways of recording video. Nevertheless, it is an option there, and it'll do 1080p at, I think, 60 frames per second. This is a nice little feature here, just to be able to change the exposure weighting, which part of the frame it's counting for exposure purposes. Press that and then you can dial in your settings to your heart's desire. I can't get it to show there, using the back dial button there. I shall put it back to center weighted. Familiar set of exposure release and exposure compensation buttons here, and then we do have it, I think, at least one that's the preview, aperture preview button, and then we have one programmable, I assume it's programmable function button. I've really enjoyed my time out here with the D750, and I'm going to be doing a few more episodes over the coming months with this while I show you around what it's capable of. And I'm expecting some good results from it because it's a decent camera. 24 megapixels is more than enough for the kind of use that I will put this camera to. I may find myself being slowed down significantly by it compared to the rate of workflow that you can achieve with the mirrorless Z series cameras, but nevertheless I'm expecting some pretty decent results with this. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if so, please do like and subscribe. And if you'd like to see me tackling any particular genre of photography with this little beast, please do mention in the comments. If you've got a D750 and you're still using it, I'd love to know, and also what kind of results you're getting with it, whether or not you've considered upgrading to a Z series camera or a D850, maybe something like that. Do let me know in the comments how you're getting on with your D750 and whether or not our little outing into the forest today has given you any pause for thought as to whether or not this might be the right camera for you. Great, so thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.